Hi everyone, welcome to Davy D Doodles, where I make random creative things to save my sanity. And today I do have a confession to make. I have an addiction to Michaels. I decided I was going to stop by the marker section because in the ad, the Copic markers were about half off. And as I go down that aisle, I see a different sign, a better sign, that these Prismacolor markers in my hand are $1. They are on clearance for $1 a piece, and anybody that has ever used these knows these retail for $6 or $7 a piece. So even though I've used these in the past, even though I was 15, had no art experience or patience or talent whatsoever, and I hated these things with a passion, I decided $1 is too good to pass up. I will give them another chance. And then I proceeded to buy every single color they had in stock. Sometimes twice, because I really like the color. So that's the story of how I went and blew my paycheck. And we are going to do a quick little swatch, and then we're going to put it to use because I'm really curious with the knowledge that I have now, with a little bit of talent that's grown since I've been 15. What was that? Oh god, that was about 18 years ago. Maybe I can make these work and make it worth the investment, because they're really pretty colors, and hopefully they're worth it. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have a very limited color palette here. I have a bunch of grays, which I'm totally okay with, a ton of blues, which are actually really pretty. I especially love these two colors and this one up here. But I don't have a lot in range. Like, I only have a couple of greens, a couple of warm colors, this weird little skin tone down here, and I'm sorry if the smearing of my ink for the writing bothers you as much as it bothers me, but that's not the pens, that's just like what I wrote down their names with. So what I didn't realize when I bought these is that some of them were bullet nibs and some of them were brush nibs. Totally okay, especially for $1 a piece, though I will say I went back to grab more if they were available because I'm compulsive and a hoarder, and the price of these Prismacolor pens has suddenly gone back up to $2. So they went from $1 a piece to $2 a piece. So I was really fortunate to grab them while I did, because over the course of a week they've already increased in price. But they didn't have any extra colors. So we're still stuck with our limited color palette, and Anthony suggested that I work on some more Pokemon fan art, partly because he just really likes Pokemon and he's in one of those kicks right now, but also because the colors should work really well with what I have here. So I didn't go into too much with the swatching about the markers themselves because I don't necessarily want this video to be an actual review. What I think I would rather do is just go back and review my impressions of them originally, because we all know that they really are pretty good markers. When I did the swatching, they were smooth, they were beautiful, you know, all the usual descriptors for markers and how beautiful and pretty the colors usually are. I wasn't disappointed. However, one thing I did notice with the bullet nibs is that they were pretty scratchy, but that's any bullet nib. And it was the brush nibs that actually surprised me most. They were really, I want to say flimsy, but that's not the right word. They really behave the way brushes do. And it caught me by surprise, because usually with the hoo-hoo and things like that, you get a stiffer brush nib. And so I had a little bit of trouble controlling the Prismacolors at first because I didn't know what I was doing, and they were so soft and they were so pliable. They were kind of everywhere. And while that may be a bad thing for some people, it can be really good things when you're doing something with a larger space. You'll see it later in the video. I definitely tried to use it to my advantage when I was doing like the backgrounds, and it made it much easier than my usual markers, you know, the hoo-hoos and all that. Would have probably given me more problems because they wouldn't bend and give me as much surface area to work with. So that was definitely a plus for the Prismacolors. But like I said, we know they're great markers, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you you should go try and run to your Michaels to see if you can get them for $2. I was fortunate and I did get them for $1, but I really kind of wanted to go back to the whole idea of, are they as bad as I remember them being when I was a kid? When I was a kid, I was really impatient. I had no idea what the difference between, you know, water-based markers or alcohol markers. I didn't know any of that. All I knew was that I hated these markers because they were really, really streaky and I didn't know why. I never got kits or anything like that. There was basically a really fancy art store my mom would take me to every now and then, and I would pick out a couple colors that I wanted that were never colors that really went together except for one specific picture, and then after that you were kind of out of luck. So I didn't have the best impression of these going in because I remember those streaky images and I remember the pure frustration of 15-year-old me just not understanding why I can't color. And it put me off color for a really, really long time. For the longest time, the only artwork I would do would be black and white or pencil or charcoal or something like that. And it was only really reaching back in with the coloring community that made me pick up alcohol markers again and give them any kind of chance. I'm really glad that I did. And I'm actually really glad that I picked these up too, because it was kind of a, it was a way to be reintroduced to them that really didn't have consequences. If I lost like 10 or 15 bucks, that's what you spend on a Copic marker usually. I mean, obviously it's a little dramatic, but it was pretty much, there was no, consequence to trying it out again. And I'm glad I did, because these really aren't as bad as I remember them. They are not something I will go out and buy right away because I haven't been doing much oh goodness, you guys, I cannot talk. I haven't been doing much in the way of marker lately as far as real illustrations that need, professional grade markers. But they're nice to have. They're good to have in a toolkit in case I do want to do more backgrounds or in case I do want to try something new. And I was really impressed with the fact that even though I didn't have the correct colors for all the Pokemon parts, like, Greninja over there with his bright yellow, it's not supposed to be yellow, it's supposed to be a cream. Well, I didn't have one, so I took a bright yellow and dulled it down as much as I could. Or the greens in the actual forest. I only had 3 colors of green, so I tried really hard to make them kind of stand out from each other. And just getting a different shade of yellow by combining that peach and the yellow, I was blown away by the fact that that even worked. And that's not a combination I ever would have tried with markers that I would be scared of messing up. So I'm really glad I did it because now I have a few more skills up my sleeve. Now I see how well these can mix, create new colors, and even just blend well together. Colors that aren't even really close just blended really well, and I was impressed. So, again, this isn't really a review, it's just a fact that I'm really glad I gave them another shot. Because if I do happen to see them on clearance, or if I happen to see, someone selling some used ones online somewhere, I'll probably grab them at this point because they're not bad to have. I was so tempted just to say, no, I will never own these again, it's not worth the money. Well, they really kind of were. And if you are going out to Michael's, if you're going to look for other stuff, check out the clearance section. You might see these guys still on clearance for only a couple bucks. Don't miss out. Go check it out if you're in the area, because I'm really glad I did, and I'm really glad I gave them another shot, even if it was just for something cute and Pokemon related, which I really need to start doing something besides Pokemon art. I don't know why I keep doing this. It's just so cute and it's so fun to do. If you guys, you should let me know what your favorite Pokemon is, because I might just have to keep drawing little things and posting it around. So if you haven't already, definitely let me know what you think. Let me know what your preferred marker brands are. Let me know what your favorite art medium is and what you think of this picture. For the limited color palette, how do you think it came out? And do you think that you would ever go back to Prismacolors after changing markers yourself? Hopefully you come back next week and I have something great for you. Thanks guys, and stay safe.